this video, I'm going to show you how to participate in the forums that we have set up for the BCSCR tutors. Now, as you should have received in a letter from me or from your regional coordinator, we are encouraging all tutors to participate in the forums. Now, there's 9 areas, 9 topics that you can reply to, and if you reply to each of those 9 topics, we will provide you with an hour's pay for that amount of time. We think this will be very useful to you, not only to give you a chance to share what it is that you're doing with your colleagues and what's working, as well as provide some feedback to us in the leadership office, but also a way for you to get new ideas and new strategies that you can use for tutoring. So the place to access the forums is here under the Tutors tab, and you see forums there. But before you're able to participate, you must register on the site and become a user. Of course, you can always go and view the forums, and you can read what people have written, but you won't be able to participate until you become a registered user. So this is pretty simple to do. To become a registered user, you can go to the bottom of the page over here where it says register, and you can click there. All you need to do to register is put in the username that you desire and also a valid email address. Now, because we're going to be compensating people for participating, we have to be able to track who you are. We have to know which tutors have made the replies in the forums and participated in the forums. So when you set up your username, make sure that you use the 2-letter code for the state, such as NM, CO, AZ, or US, or TX, excuse me. Then the 2-letter number for your region, 01, 02, 03, and so forth, and then your first initial and last name. That way, when we check and see who has replied, we can easily find your participation in the forum, and we can compensate you for it. So you'll do that there at register. Again, you put in the username using that format and your valid email address. The password for the site will come to you in your email, and so you'll want to save that, of course. But let's say you have already registered for the site. What you will do here is you will log into the site. I'll show you another way to get to the login also, but the easiest way is down here on the bottom right of any of the pages on the website, and you can click that login screen. So let's go ahead and do that. So I click there, and I'm going to put in my username, which in this case is TX01, so there's the state and the region, and then my first initial and my last name, and I'll put in my password here that was sent to me, and hopefully I typed that correctly, and I click log in. There we go. Now I should be logged into the site, and I can check that over here again in the bottom corner. Do you see where it says site admin and log out? Well, it says log out because I'm logged in. Alright, so let's go and visit the forums now. We'll go up here to the menu, and under Tutors it says Forums. So I click on that. Now, we have a handful of forums and topics for you, but the only ones that you're required to participate in order to be compensated are the 9 topics under the Share and Learn category. There's actually 2 forums in here. One of them is called Tutoring and You, and it has 3 topics in it. Also, we see the forum called Tutoring Strategies, and it has 6 topics in it. So what that gives us is a total of 9 topics, 3 under Tutoring and You, and 6 under Tutoring Strategies. If you make responses for each of those 9 topics, you will be compensated for your time. So let's take a look. I'm going to go ahead and click on Share and Learn, And what this does is it gives me a little bit more information about those individual forums. See, there's tutoring in you, and you see it's required in order to be compensated, and also tutoring strategies, also required. So let's go ahead and start with tutoring and you. So I click on that, and now 1, 2, 3. So here's one topic to respond to. There's another one, challenges and solutions, and there's another one called support and training needs. Now, see this one at the top called registering logging in? That topic will show up on every single forum, so you can always access the registration and login information from the forums themselves. Of course, you can go down to the bottom right hand corner, but you can also click on this and get more information about registering, about logging in, and all the usernames and all of that. Most of this information should have been sent to you already, but you can go to the forums first if you wish and find that forum called registering, the topic called registering and logging in, and then from there you can go right to register if you haven't done so already, and you can also go here to log in where you see my cursor. Now, remember, when you're making your username, it needs to have a 2-digit code for the state, a 2-digit code for the region, and then your first initial and last name. And you must use that format so we can find your responses. Of course, if you're not sure which region you're in, which tutoring region you're in, you can just keep scrolling down here, and here's a little table to help remind you. So, for example, you see that I logged in under Texas. Well, I know that my regional coordinators are Steve and Georgia Lane. That means that my region is Texas 01. So for my username, I put in TX01, and then my first initial, and then my last name. Alright, so that's an easy way to get there. Now I can just scroll back up and you see all of the pathway right here that I followed to get to that point. So let me go back to the forums again. And here's the share and learn. It has 2 forums underneath it. One forum, tutoring and you, with 3 topics, and tutoring strategies with 6. Okay, let's start with tutoring and you. And again, there are the 3 topics that I need to respond to. So to see what's in a topic, I simply click on the title. Here I clicked on support and training needs. So there's a little bit of a blurb at the top. It reads, what can we do to help you be more effective as a tutor? What support and or training do you need? And just as a reminder, BCSCR is not able to provide lesson plans or instructional materials, but other than that, what do you need to be a better tutor? So I scroll down the page and here's the reply. Now, in order to be compensated, the participation that you need to have is simply to reply to these topics. So here you will put your information. So this is support and training needs. So I'm going to add a little bit more about that. Now, once I have my reply in there, I come down here and I say submit. So I'll simply click the submit button. And because I'm a registered user of the site, my response will show up right there on the site. So above, you see my response right there. Very simple. Okay, and mine will always show up at the top. So that's one. Now let's go take a look at another one. So that was the topic, support and training needs. Let's go back to the forum called Tutoring and You, and let's respond to another topic. So I'll scroll down here. I did the first one, and you notice that it even shows that 36 seconds ago, I, Zero Peterson, responded to this topic. How about this one down here? Benefits of being a tutor. And you see it's also marked required because it's required in order to get compensated. So I'm going to click on that one. There's the topic question right there. What has benefited me? Okay, there's my response, and I'll scroll down a little bit. So I'm replying to the benefits of being a tutor. There's my response, and I can hit submit down here to submit my response. And there's my response. It's now online. So there's the topic, and there's my response to the topic. Now, when you're making your responses, try to provide meaningful information for a couple of reasons. Well, actually 3 reasons. One is because everybody in the world can see these forums. Now, only registered users can participate in the forums, but everybody can see them. And I do encourage all of the BCSCR tutors to spend some time in looking at other tutors' responses, especially in regard to the instructional strategies. Because as more people participate in this and more people add their ideas, you will be able to get a lot of really great ideas about what you can do in the tutoring sessions. So a lot of people are going to be looking at them. And also, the third reason to provide a meaningful response is because we in the home office are going to be reading these, and we're going to be looking for things that we can do to support you. We're going to be looking for best strategies, and we're going to be compiling many of your responses and distributing them. Some of them will go to you. We'll distribute some to district superintendents and other education stakeholders. And when we do our federal reports, we may also be using some samples of your comments to share with the federal program officer. So think about that when you are making your response, and make your response meaningful. Not just a few words, but actually explain what it is that you're talking about. Alright, so I've responded to a couple. Now, those were 2 topics under the forum called Tutoring and You. So let's go back to Share and Learn. Share and Learn, again, is where you have all of the topics that you need to respond to in order to get compensated for participating. Now, interestingly, we still, under Tutoring and You, we still see we have the same 3 topics, and now there's 5 posts. There's the original 3, and now there's a couple of responses there also, which makes 5. But let's take a look at tutoring strategies. Alright, I'm going to click on there. Notice at the top is still the one called registering and logging in. So if you haven't logged in yet, you can always find that information here. Now, under tutoring strategies, you'll see that there is a topic for every one of the reading components, from phonemic awareness all the way up to oral language development. So let's take a look at one. Let's respond to the one called comprehension. And the question is really, what are your best strategies for helping students to develop their comprehension? Reply below with your best strategies in comprehension. So I'll scroll down, and here's the place where I put my response. I'm just making up something here, but really think about what it is that you're doing with kids. I mean, as you're working and helping kids to develop their skills in each of these reading component areas, what is the number one or the two best things where you have really seen that the kids are engaged and it seems to help them become have better understanding of what they read, and think about the strategies that they use, think about what you use, and really reflect on your instruction. What's worked best that you can share with your colleagues to help them improve their tutoring instruction as well. Okay, so I put my comment in here, my response, and I'm going to hit submit. And just a moment, that refreshes. And there it is. So there's the original topic up top, and then there's my response below. Now, we currently have well over 500 tutors. So as more and more tutors begin to add their responses to these 6 different regions here, we're going to have a lot of ideas generated on the forums here that you can then use. You can think about them, you can read them, and the ones that look most interesting to you, you can apply them to your own tutoring. So that's really all there is to participating in the forums. So let's just take a quick look through again. So there's all the forums. The ones that you have to respond to are called Share and Learn. They're all in that category right there. Underneath the ones called Using the Forums is more information about instructions, and the logging in and registration information is there, and what this whole thing is about, and some stuff like that. But the ones you need to respond to are called Share and Learn. And we went to one of the forums. We viewed the topics down there, and we selected one, and then we replied to it. Now, a couple quick things to notice here. On the top of every forum, there's a little bit of a blurb up here that just reminds you that you need to make 9 responses to the 9 required responses to the topics in this category called Share and Learn, and we need to have all of your responses by May 1st for a couple of reasons. One, because we want to make sure that people respond in time for their ideas to be useful to other tutors. So while tutoring is still going on, we want people to be able to access your information and get more ideas. Also, by getting in the responses by May 1st, that gives the regional coordinators enough time to see who has responded to the forums and to include that information when they submit their payment and payroll information to the home office. That way, if you have made your responses to each of those 9 topics, we then in the home office can make sure that we add that $40 to your payment that we make in May. So it becomes part of the payment for your services during April, which then gets provided to you in May. So May 1st is the deadline, and I will tell you that on May 2nd, since all the responses need to be in by May 1st, on May 2nd, I'm closing all of the forums. Now, you'll still be able to go and read them and get ideas and see what other people have said, but you won't be able to make any more responses after May 1st. So that deadline is very firm. Take some time. It shouldn't take too long. You saw how long it took me to put in 3 responses here. And there's only 9 responses that you need to make, or responses to 9 topics. So it really shouldn't take you too long to do it, and we will give you $40 for participating. We hope that you find this very useful. We hope that you find it interesting and gives you a good chance to really reflect on what it is that you're doing with kids and what you know is working for them. So that's using the forums on the tutoring website, and if you have questions, feel free to ask your regional coordinators about, for example, if you have a question about registering, or where my response is received, or something strange happened, go ahead and ask them, and they'll be able to help you out. But overall, thank you for being a BCSCR tutor. Thank you for what you're doing for kids, and I appreciate your service.